Coming in, you guys. I've got a walk and talk here today that I want to share that I think will be a whole lot of fun. So thank you for being here. Nice and bright, sunshiny here in Spartanburg, South Carolina. Beautiful day, chilly day because it is still winter time. So it's nice and chilly, but it's sunny at the same time. Kind of gives the ambiance that it's warmer than it actually is. So thank you so much for being here. Hope you guys have a wonderful weekend started so far, and that you've got great plans to get honey-do list done, relax, whatever it is that you're doing. But I appreciate you being here. I am starting a little bit early, so I'm going to hang on until I start the content so that more people can come in. I did say that I would start this at 11 a.m. Eastern time, so that's another 5 or so minutes. So I'll just jibber jabber with those of you coming in here right now. So we got a few minutes to commiserate before we get into today's topic. A really cool topic, by the way. Thought it would be something fun after last week. Last week I did a very heavy topic, and so I wanted to go a little lighter today. But today's lighter, but I think still very important. And we will talk about that here in a minute. Hey, J. Dawn Love. Hello, Ange and Linda. Texas Livingstone. Lizzie. JoJo's here. Linda says, ready to walk, starting now. Go get it. JoJo says, good morning. Good morning. So my farmer's market, by the way, is open today. During the winter time, they only are open once a month. So today's the day. The problem was I thought when they were open that they would be open the normal hours like they are throughout the year. And they weren't. They were not open at 8 a.m. I got there right at 8 a.m. because I like to make sure that I'm getting the best selection, especially of the meats that I want. And so I got there at 8 o'clock and there was nobody there. I'm like, what in the world? So I go on their Instagram page and it turns out that, 11 a.m. is when they open. I'm like, well, I'm doing a walk and talk at 11 a.m. So that's not going to work. So yes, I turned around, came back home. So when I'm done with my walk and talk, I will be headed towards my farmer's market. So I see Sharon just got here. Sharon, we're just commiserating for a few minutes here before the 11 o'clock starts. I want to make sure before I got into the main content that I just jibber-jabbered for a few minutes. Let some people commiserate in here. Hope you guys are having a great weekend. I just got off the phone talking to my best friend, so that was fun. I talked to another friend before that. I went and got some feed for my chickens at the feed and seed store. Gotten a few things done with the podcast coming up next week. Weekends, I like to just kind of chill and do things that are just relaxing. We should all do that, right? Hope you've got relaxing things in mind. Hello, dear, says Sharon. Thank you for that. So yeah, guys, so start thinking right now, what are some of the common cliches that you hear people say? And I'm going to make the argument today that we need to stop talking to each other using cliches. I feel like every single day on social media, I am being inundated with cliche after cliche after cliche. And we're going to talk about a few of them here. And I definitely want to hear your input about the ones that you see a lot, not just online, but in person, or you hear people say a lot. So we're going to get into that here in about 2 or so more minutes. Yes. So 1 week from today, I will be having my 50th birthday party in the town over from me. Of course, you guys know my birthday was back in December, and it was 2 days after Christmas. So nobody's going to come to a birthday party 2 days after Christmas. So that's why I waited until February to have my birthday party. So that's 1 week from today over at a really nice hotel over in Greenville, South Carolina. The sad part is I had probably 25 or so guests sign up, and about half of them have had to cancel. So now it's going to be a much smaller event And that's too bad, but we will still have a good time. Hello, Cherish. Thanks for being here. Good morning. Hello, Keep Austin Keto. What's up? What's up? All right, you guys, let's get into today's content. Sharon says, my birthday is 4 days before Christmas. So, Sharon, you know all about the travails of being a Christmas baby. It's hard, but you live and learn. You deal with it. I see my bud, Dr. Rimka's here. We're going to talk about something, not about nutrition, not about the craziness in the world right now. We just need to talk about some fun things. And today's a really fun one, but I still think an important one. We talk to each other in so many cliches. Think about all the things that people say that are common colloquialisms in the way we talk to one another. I'm going to start with a big one. And it pisses me off to no end when I hear somebody says, well, it is what it is. It is what it is? What does that mean? Well, it is what it is. You might as well just say nothing if you're going to say it is what it is. Of course it is what it is. What else would it be? Right? That's one that just grates me. It is what it is. And it's something that people think is supposed to make someone feel better, or something you tell yourself when something went awry in your life. It is what it is. Bulletproof says, go Jimmy. Walking in the sunshine today, yes. So that's a big one. How about this one, you guys? This one gets me good too. Especially when they write it in a comment on a social media post. With all due respect. I can guarantee you when they write with all due respect, what they write after that is disrespectful. Almost invariably, if you have to write with all due respect, then the next thing they write is more times than not going to be disrespectful. Yes. Hello, Keto in Delhi. Thanks for being here. So if you're just joining in, we are going over popular, common colloquialisms and phrases that people use, cliches. And I'm making the argument we need to stop talking to each other this way, using these common phrases. It makes no sense at all. With all due respect, yeah, that's basically what you're telling somebody. With all due respect. Don't do that. How about this one? Everything happens for a reason. Everything's just going to work out just fine. How do you know that? Are you Nostradamus? Do you have a vision into the future? How do you know everything's going to work out fine? And on principle, most of these colloquialisms, which by the way, I'm not pointing the finger at things that I myself have not also said to other people. So I'm blaming myself for a lot of these just as much. But we say these things so often. Everything's going to work out in the end. Everything happens for a reason. And I know people think that's comforting, but it's not. It's really not. Bulletproof says, I sometimes would say it is what it is as a way to tell myself there's nothing I can change, so move on. But I get what you're saying. Yeah, look, I realize sometimes it gives our mind a bit of closure to say, well, it is what it is, let me move on. So I get that. So thank you for articulating that. But I think some people say it is what it is so they don't have to continue to think about it, or so they don't have to do any action on it. Well, it is what it is. So that's unfortunate. Nostradamus, that cracked me up. Yes. I don't know if they still teach about Nostradamus in today's society. I'm a Gen Xer. We learned about Nostradamus. Yes. So we are on my walk and talk, you guys, and I'm going over some common phrases and colloquialisms and cliches that we say. And I'm making the argument we have to stop talking to each other in these kind of things. So we've talked about it is what it is. We've talked about with all due respect, everything will work out in the end. Everything happens for a reason. How about this one? I get this one a lot, especially when I write about them on social media. They'll say things like, haters gonna hate, just ignore them. Obviously, people who say that mean well. And when they've written that on my pages, I get where they're coming from, but they also don't understand. Yes, haters going to hate. Yes, ignore them, block them, do all the things you're going to do with them. But you can't unsee what your eyes have seen. Once you see something that's ugly, it's hard to unsee that, guys. So yes, haters gonna hate, ignore them, block them. Easier said than done, especially the bigger you are as an account, you're gonna get more of that kind of thing. Now, sometimes I'll write about things as a way of articulating concepts for speaking up on behalf of other people. And so people will see me show those examples. Ignore the haters, Jimmy. And I'm like, this is not what it's about. Like, thank you, but I've done this for almost 2 decades. I know. So telling me haters gonna hate, ignore the haters, blah, blah, blah. Thank you, but that's just an unhelpful phrase. But people say it a lot, don't they? Bulletproof says, it's like people who say it's old age or a part of getting older as if chronic disease is supposed to happen. Yeah, very similar. And inevitability. Mary says, oh, the it is what it is comment drives me nuts too. Yes. All right, so what next? Man, oh man. How about the people who say, well, you know, Jimmy, everything happens for a reason. Everything happens for a reason. Again, all of these things people say, I think, with good intentions in their heart. They don't mean to be an asshole, even though that's how they look. And it's kind of like when somebody dies and you tell that person who's very closest to the person that died, well, they're in a better place. No. Yes, they're in a better place, but don't tell somebody that. That's horrible. Everything happens for a reason. Oh yeah, what reason is that? Oh, well, the grand universe or God or whatever will determine what the reason is, but everything happens for a reason. Sorry. I don't buy it. I don't buy that at all. Nope. And Sharon adds another one that's ancillary to this. God won't give you more than you can handle. And look, I'm a Christian, but I have a lot of trouble with some of the language that we use in Christian circles. God won't give you more than you can handle. And they'll cite, well, that's biblical. And it is biblical. It's true that that's in the Bible. But the problem is, what if he does? What if you have something that you're not handling? At that point, you do have something more than you can handle. What do you do with that? Telling you that God won't give you more than you can handle doesn't really help your brain. Doesn't really help you through it. And quite frankly, the church doesn't help with that kind of thing. They don't. Miss Hockey says, my dad just passed away, and that's all I've gotten is he's in a better place. Look, I have a little bit of sympathy in my heart for people that say that, because you just don't know what to say. To those people, I say, don't say anything. If If you don't know what to say nothing at all, because it's going to be far better than to say something like, he's in a better place. Again, it sounds comforting, but to the family member that just lost, and by the way, my condolences, Miss Hockey, for losing your dad. It sounds so good at face value, but if your dad was dying and died, and somebody says, well, he's in a better place, cheer up, he's in a better place, you would not feel great. Oh, Miss Hockey brings up another good one that I did not think of when it comes to the death of a family member. You're so strong going through this. How are you staying so strong? These things at face value, they seem like they would be good, but when you really stop and think about them, and this is why I'm doing this on the walk and talk today, guys, there are phrases, there are cliches, there are colloquialisms that we use commonly in society that I don't think they come across quite the way that we think they do. They don't. Mary says, especially after a miscarriage, I've heard that everything happens for a reason. Yeah. My ex-wife and I, we lost twin babies after an in vitro fertilization attempt. And yeah, we got a lot of that. We got a lot of that at that time, and it did not make us feel better. Not in the least. So if you're just joining in, we are here on my walk and talk. I try to do these about once a week, sometime on the weekend, generally Saturday or Sunday. And I bring up all kind of topics, usually outside the world of nutritional health, just because I talk about diet and health and mindset things with all my podcasts and everything all week. This is a nice outlet for doing something else. And so I came up with a topic today of all these phrases and cliches and colloquialisms that we use in our society with one another. Bulletproof brings up one within the diet world. How about just eat less and move more? Yes, that is a colloquialism. Just eat less and move more. Oh, wow. I never thought to do that before. Wow, what a revolution. You should write a book called Eat Less, Move More. It will be a bestseller because it's so obvious. Have you ever noticed there is no such book called Eat Less, Move More? By the way, Jimmy Moore would have to write that book. Eat Less, Move, Moore, right? I could brand that. No, not gonna happen. Never writing a book called Eat Less, Move More. But that is a pervasive colloquialism in our society. Really never based on anything. It's not based on any science, that's for sure. All right, let's get to the next phrases and things like that. Oh, this is a bad one here. Somebody says something and it's kind of mean towards you. And then they say, it's just a joke. You can't take a joke. It's just a joke. If you say something ugly towards somebody, don't you dare follow that up with, it's just a joke. And again, all of these things, you guys, I have probably done, you have probably done, and it's okay if you've done them. But now I'm bringing it to your attention that, wow, is that really helpful? So if you're saying something ugly towards someone, and then you say, it's just a joke, you can't take a joke, you're gaslighting that person. You're basically telling them, you're not allowed to feel the way you feel because I wasn't being purposeful in trying to hurt you. The problem is you did hurt that person. And we need to be mindful of how our words come across. I get that a lot on posts and everything. I've got another one coming up here in a minute that's going to follow up on that. If you say something ugly to someone, the appropriate response is, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean for that to come across that way. Not, it's just a joke. Can you not take a joke? Bulletproof says, just let it go. Yeah. Let it go, let it go. They don't understand it's not easy to let things go. And again, I don't think any of the people who say these things have ill intent. I think they're all just using it because we've always used it. We have these common phrases that we try to comfort one another with, but after a while, they become so common that they're not comforting at all. They're just noise in the background. So keep telling me the ones that you think of. I've got a few more on my list here of common cliches, colloquialisms, phrases, words that we say to one another that we probably need to stop telling each other. I've hit a lot of the big ones, but the next one, this is a big one, guys. If I'm being honest, ... or no offense, but if you tell somebody, if I'm being honest, it begs the question. If you have to say if you're being honest, what are you being when you don't give that precursor? Are you lying to me most of the time? But now you're being honest, and if you're being honest, literally, if I'm being honest, or no offense, but you're about to get something thrown at you. So brace yourself. So every time I see somebody write, if I'm being honest, I know what's about to come is going to be an insult or something derogatory. Or no offense, but I'm expecting something that's going to be offensive coming next. It's almost axiomatic at this point. Why even put those things? If you're going to insult somebody, don't try to soften it by saying, if I'm being honest, or no offense. Sorry, if you have to put no offense, you've already offended me. Yep. All right, next on the list. Oh, I hate this one. Well, you know, what you're going through is tough, but other people have it worse off than you. And I can tell you, as a survivor of childhood trauma, well, your trauma's not as bad as so-and-so. So you need to get over it. Your trauma wasn't as bad. Or this one, ancillary to that, my friend Brittany brings this one up a lot about childhood trauma, talking about parents. People will tell her, well, you know, your parents, they did the best they could. They did the best they could. No, not if they allowed abuse and allowed things to happen to you. No, they didn't do the best they could. So look, don't get them off the hook for that. I get it. Those are things that are supposed to be comforting. They did the best they could. Or you turned out all right. Yes, I might have turned out all right, but it's because I had to do a lot of work on myself to turn out all right. It was not because of anything that the parents did. Yeah, I eventually turned out all right, but I still deal with the ramifications of all those things that were done. And we have to be mindful of that and be appreciative of where we are now. But no, they didn't do the best they could, because if they had, we'd be in a better place a lot sooner than we were. Be patient in the wrong context always annoys me. Yes, be patient. Yeah, some of these are double-edged swords, because some of them can be good in the right context, but then extremely bad in other contexts. Like right now, I'm in the dating world, so people are like, just be patient. The right one will come along. Thanks. Didn't think of that. Bulletproof says, I'm a doctor, so I must be right. Yes. Yes, they do think that, don't they? With everything we've gone through the past 2 years, there has been one phrase that has pissed me off more than any other phrase. Before I say it, I want to see if you guys can guess it. Start guessing based on the events of the last 2 years. What phrase do you think I wrote down as my biggest pet peeve colloquialism cliche phrase? Somebody's going to get it. Write it down there, because I know you're going to get this one. What is a common phrase that has been said about all the pandemonium, all the Black Plague stuff? What is one common phrase that has been out there? I want to see, yes, Kira, you nailed it. Stay safe. There's also an ancillary one to stay safe. Stay safe is a big one, and like I keep thinking, safe from what? Like what am I staying safe from? Stay safe. But what else? Is there another one? Stay safe was the big one, so good job, Kira. What is another popular colloquialism phrase, cliche? And I mean, it's everywhere, you guys, especially early on in the process. They said these things. Come on, you guys, speak up. I want to hear it. Oh, Kira also says when they bring up Job from the Bible, talking about going through tough stuff in their life. Well, Job went through a lot in the Bible, so you can put up with whatever you're going through. Yeah, that is a popular one as well. Bulletproof says, follow the science. Yeah, that's a big one as well. Said by those who don't follow the science. That's a big one, but that's not the one I was thinking of. There's one other, and you're gonna kick yourself. Mary says we're all going to die. Well, no, that's not quite the one. All right, I'm going to say it. You ready? When I say this, you're going to laugh because, yes, everybody and their mama says this. You ready? In addition to stay safe and follow the science, the next big one, Bulletproof says stop the spread. Yeah, but no, here it is. We're all in this together. Does that one not? Yes, see, Kira got it. We're all in this together. We're all in this together. No, there's some people, they're on their own little island about this. And while others of us are most certainly not together with those people, I promise you. Yes, Mary's doing the throw up emoji. And it's true. I hate that phrase. And yet it's a common phrase. We're all in this together. Stay safe. Follow the science. Bulletproof says the politicians go without a face covering everywhere, but students have to wear one. Yeah, I'm hoping that nonsense is over soon. All right. Let's skip past the Black Plague and let's go to another one. Kira says, I'm driving, so I'm slow to text. So yeah, please don't text while you're driving. Thank you for engaging, but I don't want you dying. You got to be at my birthday party next week, Kira. My attendees to my birthday party are dropping like flies. So I need every one of you I can get there. All right, so the next one on my list, just breathe or take a breath. If you're telling somebody to take a breath, I promise you, they're going to do more than that. They're going to come at you, bruh. So don't tell somebody to take a breath or just breathe. Again, it sounds great. You think you're calming them down, but it's not helpful. Or here's another one. Yes, Mary is also going to be at my birthday party. Thank you, Mary. I'm looking forward to having you there. Here's another one. Don't be so sensitive. So again, it's kind of ancillary to some of the ones I've already mentioned. Like the no offense, but, or I'm just kidding, but don't be so sensitive. I'm sorry, I'm allowed to have whatever emotional response I'm going to have. I am. Don't tell me what kind of emotional response I'm supposed to have. That doesn't make sense. Let me have my thoughts and ideas and emotions bubble to the surface. And I can be sensitive if I want to be. That's a hard one too, by the way, for people who have empathy and are very empathetic. They're the ones that hear, you're too sensitive, don't be so sensitive. And we need to be understanding that some people have that wired in them to be more sensitive to the needs of other people. And some of us can feel other people. And so don't be so sensitive to somebody like that is almost impossible. They're going to feel the energy of someone else. So to tell them, don't be so sensitive. And it's supposed to make the person writing it, their words seem stronger. Well, don't be so sensitive about it. You need to hear this. Or I get this a lot in my work. You just need to hear this truth. You're denying the truth. I'm like, no, I'm just denying your version of your opinion that you're sharing right now. You hear all kind of stuff like that. I hate when people tell me to relax when I'm upset and heated, says Cherish. Yes. Again, I think the intention is probably good with those kinds of things, like relax, it's okay, chill out. Don't make a mountain out of a molehill. I've heard that one a lot too. But not helpful. Not helpful. Again, I realize all these things are meant to be perceived in the person's mind of saying it as a good thing, but they don't come across that way always. Here's another one. Well, what comes around goes around. And it's supposed to be this comforting thing of, if you went through a bad thing, then eventually you're going to have good things happen. Or if you got screwed out of something and someone else benefited, what comes around goes around means that they're going to eventually get their due of something bad. Not helpful. Because again, it's not automatic that what comes around goes around. I guess an ancillary one to that is, well, when a door closes, a window opens. Not always. Why do we do that? Why do we do that? It's just not necessarily true. A big one. And somebody did this to me yesterday. Well, I just think we're going to have to agree to disagree. No, when you say agree to disagree, you're basically saying, I don't want to have a conversation about this anymore because I don't have anything else to say. So let's agree to disagree. Somebody did that to me on YouTube yesterday. And I said, I don't disagree with you. I disagree with the angle that you're coming at, but I don't disagree with what you're saying. Let's have a conversation. And people say, well, let's just agree to disagree as a way to move on from an uncomfortable conversation. Don't do that. Have the conversation. You don't have to agree to disagree. Now, yes, there are going to be people that have differing opinions, and you should be agreeable with one another. But don't say, well, I guess we're going to have to agree to disagree, because that immediately ends all discussion. I think even if you disagree, you can still have productive conversations that lets each side understand the other side a little better. But the moment you say, let's just agree to disagree, is when you're waving the white flag that I don't want to talk about this anymore. So I don't like that one. All right, let's go back to Christianity for a moment, because this is a popular one. Just let go and let God. I heard that one a lot growing up. Just let go and let God. Which again, in principle, I get it. And for those of you who are fellow Christians, yes, God is mighty. God can do lots of things. But you tell somebody to let go and let God. Let's say a girl was raped. Let go and let God. How's that feel? If you've been raped, let go and let God. No. Don't do that. That is not helpful at all. All right, how about this one? And I've heard this one quite a bit with some of the things I went through the last few years. Time will heal all wounds. Oh, isn't that so lovely? time will heal all wounds? Does it? Yes, time is helpful. Letting enough time pass that hurts that happen in your life can be better. But don't tell people time will heal all wounds when sometimes there are wounds that never fully heal. Some of the things we've gone through in our lives, you're going to feel those for the rest of your life. Now, can you manage the feeling better than in the moment? Sure. But don't tell people time will heal all wounds. It's just not axiomatically true about everything. All right, I got a couple of more. Definitely share yours, you guys. Oh, back to the I'm dating right now, or being in the scene of that. People are like, well, there's plenty of fish in the sea. No kidding. I didn't know that. And again, mean well, saying something like there's plenty of fish in the sea. The problem is sometimes maybe you're in a close relationship with someone and things didn't work out, or they broke off suddenly. And then you hear somebody say, well, there's plenty of fish in the sea. It doesn't help with the feelings. And so, very insensitive to say something like that. And then the last one along that same line, well, you know, you should stop looking for love because it'll happen when you least expect it. Oh, yeah? Happen when you least expect it, huh? Sorry, I don't want a surprise to pop up. How about being intentional? How about knowing the things that I want? Again, I get the spirit of all these things, but it's highly insensitive to say something like that. Oh, it'll happen when it's supposed to. It'll just happen when you least expect it. Mary says, oh boy, that's true. I've been seriously triggered by someone over the last several months. Just proof that trauma wounds don't necessarily heal. Talking about time heals all wounds. They're just better understood. Yes. And look, I feel like all these things I brought up today, and I still welcome your input, by the way. If there's common phrases, cliches, and colloquialisms that you hear people use, please share them below. I would love to see what other ones kind of irk you. But I feel like people mean so well, I think, in their heart. They're not meaning to be ugly. They're not meaning for it to be hurtful in any way. They just don't understand the power of their words, and that the way things are said don't always come across in quite the way that they think that they do. And that's unfortunate, because I don't think people want to hurt others. But then in the process of not wanting to hurt others, they do hurt others. And so that's not good. Bulletproof says an apple a day keeps the doctor away. Yeah, that is an old adage. I'm not sure if I've heard that lately, but growing up, yeah, that was a big one. Now I would say a ribeye a day keeps the doctor away. At least a ribeye. Maybe 2 or 10. Just kidding. If your name is Dr. Sean Baker, 8 ribeyes a day will keep the doctor away. That and mocking the people who make vegan versions of meat. Yes. So guys, I hope you enjoyed this walk and talk. All about the common phrases and cliches that people use, that we should probably stop doing that. And I want you in your daily life just to think about all of these things we say to ourselves and to other people, how it comes across. Like, think that through. If before you say anything, before you type anything on social media, think about the ramifications of what you're actually saying to that person. It's a part of caring for other people. It's a part of respecting your fellow human. It's a part of understanding that they're not in the same place mentally necessarily as you are, because all of those things that you articulate may not be seen and heard in the same way that you heard them and saw them in your own mind. So Bulletproof is talking about my sleep. I post them on my stories every day, my sleep. And you guys that follow my work, you know I'm doing all these ice baths at 5 o'clock Eastern time throughout 2022. So he's saying, any idea why your REM and deep sleep shifted last night? So yeah, if you missed it, I had over 3 hours of REM, which was almost like 50% of my total sleep was REM sleep. So that was pretty cool. And then deep sleep, I think it was only like 45 minutes. Typically, my deep sleep is 2.5 to 3 hours, and my REM is the shorter one. So he's asking why. Well, I can tell you, Bulletproof, that I slept continuously throughout the night. And the only thing I've changed is I dip my head below the cold water during the ice bath time. That's the only thing I've done differently for the last 3 nights. And all 3 nights, I have slept through the night continuously. I talked about it on my podcast last week that I get segmented sleep, where I go to sleep for a few hours, I wake up, and I'm up for a few hours, and then I go back to sleep for a few more hours. And that's been my sleep since October until 3 days ago. So I don't know if there's something about the cooling down of the brain, because my whole head goes under that water. You guys watch me. I made a funny reel about it the other day, coming up out of there and screaming and hollering and hooping. And I don't know. I would love to dive into that a little more to understand the mechanism, but physically it has resulted in what you said, a shift from less deep sleep to more REM, but still combined really good. So combining those two numbers, the deep sleep and the REM, is still 4 hours of recovery sleep. So I would love to get a sleep specialist, and I know a few of them, who can maybe explain that if I see it replicated. So I'm going to keep dunking my head under the water during the ice baths, and I'm going to keep observing what's happening in my sleep. And if it continues where I get a lot of REM, then I will I'll try to see what's going on there. But thank you for that question. But guys, thank you for watching this walk and talk. It is a beautiful Saturday here in Spartanburg, South Carolina. Big, beautiful sunshine behind me. I got to head to the farmer's market today. I still have a lot of the grass-fed beef and pastured pork that I bought in the fall, but I'm trying to stay ahead of the prices since everything's going up in price. So far, so good. Grass-fed beef has stayed the same price throughout all the inflation. So I try to grab it at that price, which is currently $8 a pound for the grass-fed beef. And then was it $7 a pound for the pastured pork sausage. And I buy tons of it at a time. So hoping that my suppliers have plenty of both. I'm going to go there as soon as I'm done with my walk. And yeah. So enjoy the rest of your weekend. I will be back in a few hours at 5 p.m. Eastern time for my ice bath. Today's day number 50 of the ice bath. So I'll be going live at 5 p.m. Eastern time over on Instagram Live. So go check me out over there or right here when that happens. And I hope you enjoyed today's walk and talk. Next weekend is my birthday party on Saturday. And I'm going to have a lot of friends coming in from out of town. So not sure I'm going to have time for a walk and talk next week per se, but we'll play that by ear. But I'll let you know, obviously, on my stories on Instagram, if I do decide to do a walk and talk. I will post the topic there, but I know you understand if I end up not doing one. So thanks for joining me today, and I'll be back again real soon. Bye, guys.